Rio de Janeiro promises a lot, but also demands a high price.
People pack their dreams on their backs.
A city that never rests and moves to its own beat.
Samba is art, culture, dance, musicality. It makes your body shake.
A city where everything happens at once.
We like working here. There's always something going on.
Where talent sometimes pays off.
Surfing has shown me that I can dream.
And where many face insurmountable barriers.
Some people seem to be born with a silver spoon, and we try so hard and still don't make it.
A megacity nestled in a one-of-a-kind bay, teeming with over 6 million people who share their culture with the world. Yet, where nature remains untamed. The true Rio only comes out after night falls. But before the sun sets, Rio's famous beaches, Leme, Copacabana, Ipanema, and Leblon are once again bathed in a magical light. Everything seems easier. The day pauses for breath. And the maresia, the mist of salt and sea spray, takes the edge off the sun. Alexandre Araujo's work is just beginning, as most are winding down from the day. It's almost 6 o'clock. He still has to clean up his section of the beach, gathering up beach chairs, although it's still over 30 degrees Celsius. But he doesn't mind.
The sun has such a special energy. I honestly can't imagine living anywhere cold. I was born for the beach life.
Alexandre is a barraqueiro, someone who operates a stand at the beach and sells drinks and rents umbrellas and beach chairs. Rio's beaches have about 1,200 of the stands, and they have to be taken down every evening. Rio is a unique place where beach and city merge seamlessly. Traffic noise and samba music compete for attention in the urban canyons. A carnival band is rehearsing downtown. Professional samba singer Jacky Rocha wants to show us that samba is about more than just music. She takes us along her journey through the night.
Today I'm going to show you the everyday life of a black Brazilian woman who lives for samba. We have to hurry to the Afro-Brazilian Museum in Rio. It's a fantastic place where I'm going to sing. Let's go.
The last cable cars head up Loaf Mountain as the beach slowly empties and the lights come on. The mountain is perfect for enjoying one of the city's most beautiful sunsets. But below at the beach in Ipanema, Mateus Ribeiro is a regular, always on the prowl for his next wave. As the beach empties, he has more waves to himself. Mateus loves to surf. He gives lessons during the day and then surfs until nightfall. He lives in a poor neighborhood, a favela in the north. But he prefers to be here in the south. The beach connects all cariocas, Rio's residents.
Having a place that brings everyone together is very important, especially in a city like Rio, where there's a huge gap between rich and poor. Here we can see that we're all pretty similar, despite our differences.
Mateus has to navigate the various worlds within Rio, just like all the other cariocas. From the impoverished north to the affluent south, his daily journey to the sea is a journey through a different life.
Surfing has shown me that I can dream. Sometimes you get so caught up in your own little world that there's no room left to dream. You can't imagine something bigger because your everyday life doesn't let you. This sport has changed my life. Surfing got me my first job, and that's opened so many doors for me.
We will talk more with Mateus about his dreams later. We know where to find him. Some have the money, others do the heavy lifting, jokes Alexandre. But his hard work is also a privilege. The barraqueros are high up in the beach hierarchy. Beach stand spaces are highly coveted and are often passed down from one generation to the next. Alexandre followed in his father's sandy footsteps.
There are so many people here carrying their lives around. They're all carrying their dreams on their backs, trudging through the sand to earn a living. That's life. But besides people of my social class who come to the beach to work, there's another privileged class who come here to show off. They're all here on the same beach.
The army of barraqueros have to haul their carts from the beach to the residential areas every night. Some all the way up to the favelas, where most of them live. The dance of the barraqueros is performed every night on Rio's streets.
It's hard work, but that's why I like it. You learn discipline. If you can do this job, you're tough enough to do any other job in life.
Alexandre is studying philosophy, but only part-time. The old van on the side of the road is all he owns. He stores the chairs, umbrellas, and poles here that are his daily bread. He sets them up every day, 7 days a week. But now he's officially off the clock.
Relief. I know it was another full day of work. But now comes the best part of the day.
We'll meet him again in just a few hours when his next workday starts. The beach is almost empty and is transforming into a huge sports field. Everyone plays soccer, but Rio's specialty is futebol, a cross between volleyball and soccer, an opportunity for Brazilians to show off their ball skills.
There's a saying that Brazilians are bad at school but good at soccer. It's because of the politics. We don't have a good school system. It's better to have a hobby like futebol. It's a way for boys from the suburbs and favelas to stay out of trouble.
Kaique Miranda learned this firsthand and secured a coveted job as a futebol coach. He works on the beach in the mornings and evenings to finance his IT studies.
Futebol sort of saved my life. It's a way to spend time with friends and not think about other things. When you're young, it's like the world around you is on fire. I put my energy into futebol, so I didn't go out partying or drinking. I was addicted to being on the beach playing futebol.
Sport is the only way for many Brazilians to escape poverty. Maybe not enough for a professional soccer career, but perhaps enough for a university education. The beach at night is never really deserted, if only because more than 250 garbage collectors clean up the day's detritus. They ensure Rio's pride and joy isn't drowning in trash. They clean up and systematically sift through the sand every night. Douglas Alvao has been collecting trash for 10 years.
We like working here. There's always something going on. Shows, parties.
The postcard image of Rio.
Exactly, the postcard, and we keep it clean.
More than 200 tons of trash can collect on Rio's beaches in a single day. Much of it is left on the beach. The litterers frustrate the garbage collectors.
It makes me angry. But that's how people are brought up. Some people just don't seem to understand that trash belongs in the trash can.
Trash isn't just an environmental problem. It's also dangerous.
I once pulled 3 broken bottles out of the sand and threw them into the trash. A little later, 2 little kids came running along, playing. One of them fell face down in the sand, right where the broken glass had been. Imagine if I hadn't picked it up. I get very emotional when I talk about it, because it shows me how important my work is. I'm here every day to make sure that kind of thing doesn't happen.
They will be busy here all night. And later, we want to see what they've found. Rio de Janeiro was carved out of a jungle. But although the city continues to expand, the wilderness just a few kilometers away is not so easily defeated. More than 5,000 broad-snouted caimans inhabit the city's waters. The nocturnal hunter's calls mingle with those of Ricardo Freitas. The biologist is probably their best human friend, because he wants to protect them.
I'm imitating the call of the young caimans. There are lots here because they breed in this part of the lagoon.
Caimans are at the top of the local food chain and play an important role in Rio's ecosystem. Ricardo is working to catalog the population by catching some of the reptiles. Tonight, he first catches a young caiman. Even this little caiman can be dangerous. But Ricardo has the one weapon that no caiman in the world can beat: tape.
Caimans exert the most force when they close their mouths, but they have very little strength when opening them. You can hold an adult caiman's jaws closed with just 2 fingers.
The young male protests through its taped mouth, but calms down a little later. Ricardo has noticed that muzzled caimans fall into a kind of stupor. He adds tonight's catch to his catalog.
Nightlife in Rio is exactly what we're doing right now. I'm not the type of person who goes out at night. I like it here. It gives me a sense of peace. It relaxes me. I feel at one with creation.
The youngster's ordeal is over. Maybe Ricardo will catch a bigger one later.
On your way.
Much of what makes Rio de Janeiro special is not obvious at first glance. Not far from Ricardo's lagoon, in the west of Rio, is another place few visitors see. African cultures first arrived in Brazil as part of the inhuman slave trade. And just how much those cultures shape life in the city becomes apparent in a courtyard on the outskirts of the city. A candomblé ceremony shortly after 10 p.m. The religion originated in West Africa and worships 16 deities, or orishas. A ritual meal is being prepared for 2 of the deities. Viviani Jeoshum is a local priestess and blesses the gifts in Yoruba, a Nigerian language.
The word orisha means patron or protector. Ori means head. Sha means guardian. Orisha is the good spirit who guides us. It's like driving in your car with someone sitting next to you, showing you the best route to take.
Viviani was chosen as the La Orisha, the mother of the Orishas, and leader of the community as a child. The faithful show her unwavering respect. But the heart of the ceremony lies in demonstrating the close relationship between the Orishas and humans.
God is not above us, but in our midst. God embraces me, cries with me, and dries my tears. God dances and rejoices when I am happy. God hears me. God is here, among us.
And these gods reveal themselves during the ritual by possessing some of the faithful. Filming this divine ceremony is rarely allowed. Some worshippers enter a trance after hours of dancing. Everyone present knows these are not people dancing, but Orishas. And they are bestowing their blessings with hugs, wrapped in the arms of God, the epiphany of the night. And when the Orisha again leaves the body, the trance ends abruptly. Renato explains how it feels to be possessed by an Orisha.
My body starts to heat up, but my hands are freezing cold. It's like lightning has struck my head. From that moment on, I can't remember anything. Something goes boom, and I'm gone.
Candomblé is practiced throughout Brazil, with more than 2 million members. But the Afro-Brazilian religion still faces racial prejudice.
People have broken in here, destroyed things, and attacked us. All because of their intolerance of our religion and because of racism, which is sadly deeply rooted in Brazilian society.
Everyday racism is one of the problems Jack explores in her Samba. She's finally made it to the museum in the Harbor District where she's performing. She's always in a hurry.
Quickly, quickly.
There are no men in Jack's band, quite unusual in male-dominated Samba. But it's part of her message of diversity and tolerance.
Samba is a way of expressing myself to the world, of reaching as many people as possible. Today Brazil, tomorrow other countries. It's about being heard.
Samba, too, is rooted in Afro-Brazilian culture, marked by the injustice of slavery. Brazil did not officially abolish slavery until 1888.
Samba tells the history of Brazil in song. These lyrics are a symbol of struggle because when you tell the story of your own people, the African people, you stand up to a society that has massacred you, oppressed you, killed you, and made you invisible.
Samba is an art form that opposes oppression of all kinds. It calls out racism, discrimination, and misogyny. What do you feel when you're on stage?
Energy, life, power, and my ancestors. I just feel strong on stage.
If one thing can bring the people of Brazil closer together despite all injustice, it's Samba. For all who are willing to abandon themselves to the rhythm that carries Jack through Rio's nights. But a Brazil once described by Austrian writer Stefan Zweig as the country of the future, with a melting pot of equal ethnic groups and cultures, is now just a pipe dream. Signs of the crushing social divisions are visible on every street in Rio. Hordes of children are out all night long selling snacks, often working for their families. This boy's businesslike routine reveals how little time he has to be a child, not even for a brief moment. People avoid Rio's streets after dark, unless they're in the upscale residential areas and party districts. Those who have to go out to work, especially at night, are risking their lives. Uncertainty is a constant companion. Any stranger could be a threat. Different worlds are often separated by just a single street. Red lights are optional after 10 p.m. Stopping could be too dangerous. Gigi lives in such a neighborhood, on the northern edge of Rio, where no one ventures out at night. Gilarma Ferreira is 36 years old. She has worked as a nanny since she was a child herself. She's preparing breakfast for her 3 children in the kitchen. She can't eat with them because she has to leave for work.
I often feel guilty. Sometimes it feels like everything I want to do for my kids is pointless because I can't spend time with them. Today the little one is asleep, but when he wakes up and sees me leaving, he starts crying, and I want to stay with him. It hurts sometimes, but I have to go.
Gigi works for a wealthy family 40 kilometers away in an upscale neighborhood near the Botanical Garden. She has to be there early in the morning. It takes hours by bus and train, so she has to leave in the middle of the night. The quiet of her neighborhood is deceptive. Many areas of Rio are patrolled either by the state or by gangs. They're safe. But paramilitary groups and drug gangs are fighting for dominance in Gigi's neighborhood.
There are frequent muggings, and the street is often empty because I leave earlier than other people. I'm always a little tense.
She's heading for the bus stop, where someone is already sitting. People waiting are often mugged, so she keeps her distance to stay safe.
I'm staying a little way off so I can run home if there's a problem.
There's no problem today. This is Gigi's first bus on her long way to work. As she rides through Rio's gritty north, the trendy south is home to a party in the marina. The upper class glows in colorful self-confidence, at least at first glance. But nothing is what it seems. The drinks in their glasses aren't real. Neither is the marina. A loudspeaker calls for quiet. A man then walks in who seems completely out of place, even though he's the most important person in the room. Star director Carlos Araujo is filming Brazil's most popular telenovela, Mania de Voce, or Crazy About You. But he has no time for us. We're at TV Globo, one of the world's biggest broadcasters. Rio is the South American Hollywood. The main cast are all superstars in Brazil. The soap opera is about grand emotions, happiness, betrayal, and broken dreams, as is always the case in telenovelas. Each episode is filmed with 3 cameras and broadcast a few days later. The plot is adjusted to fit the ratings and is rewritten during filming. Gustavo Rebelo, the producer, is the man in charge.
Today there's a turning point in the plot that will take all the main characters in a new direction. A lot is riding on this scene. But we're making good progress because the team works really well together.
The pressure is on. As many as 50 million people tune in every evening at 9 o'clock. Telenovelas are a Latin American invention and usually deal with everyday subjects, dramatized to the extreme. Today's show features a showdown in the kitchen. But it's not just about good versus evil. The creators feel telenovelas also fulfill a social function.
Filming novelas is a huge responsibility because we know every day we're entering the homes of millions of Brazilians to tell a story. We know that mothers will use examples from novelas to talk to their daughters about certain issues, and we set fashion trends. In a way, we are responsible for shaping people's imaginations.
Spoiler alert. The episode will end in bloodshed. And even the handsome lead actor playing the villain will want a selfie with the dying man. Everything here is an illusion, much like the dreams of the dozens of extras who stand here all night, so close to the stars, and yet so far away. They're willing to accept 15 euros as pay as part of their dream of being discovered, of reaching the other side, the world of the rich and famous, whose problems they, like millions of others, enjoy watching on television. Rio's main station, on the other hand, is full of very real dangers, especially at night, when Gigi has to change trains. She walks straight ahead, stays focused, and tries not to show fear. Muggings are common.
They say women are the weaker sex, but it's not true. We women have a lot of strength within us. But I still feel unsafe in situations like this, because there are big men here with weapons who are much stronger than me, and who get aggressive if you don't give them what they want right away. I feel vulnerable.
The next bus is waiting. Like Gigi, tens of thousands commute every night to work as hired help in the wealthy South, often for only minimum wage, roughly 9 euros a day. Gigi earns twice that, which is why she puts up with it. But it's wearing her down.
Sometimes the patience I show at work is gone by the time I get home, because the commute to and from work is so exhausting. I come home and then have to give my children the attention they need and try to fight off the fatigue. It's a real strain.
The guilt she feels toward her own children is a constant companion on her long journey through the night. It takes her past Rio's port, one of South America's largest. Huge container ships arrive and depart every day. They need help to get through the narrow bay. Tiago Fuli Cruz is a tugboat captain. Every day is a new adventure. Two tugboats work in sync to pull a freighter away from the quay wall. 2 adjustable motors and 20 years of experience help.
It's satisfying work. We drive the country's economy because most goods are still transported by sea.
The job is done in less than half an hour, and we leave a happy captain behind on his tugboat. Back to Copacabana Beach and trash collector Douglas, whose shift is coming to an end. He now has to load the buried waste found by the screen. He lets us take a look. The results are surprising. Jewelry and keys, which they return to their frantic owners. But other finds give Douglas pause. What's that?
A drug vial. They fill it up with cocaine, put a cap on it, and sell it.
They take away the litter as well as the trash cans from the beach. If they didn't take them, even they could be stolen, says Douglas. Just another daily task along one of the world's most famous beaches.
Tomorrow we'll start all over again. There's no way around it. We try to raise awareness, but we still have to clean up after them day in and day out. Cleaning up the karaoke's living room, Copacabana Beach, the jewel of Rio.
Rio is never quiet, not even in the middle of the night. And in some places, nighttime is when the decibels really climb. A laser show on the cliff next to the Santo Amaro favela near downtown is ground zero for baile funk. The beat of the favelas is Samba's raunchy cousin. The deeper the night, the deeper the bass. It's 3 in the morning. DJ Leo de Santos is a star of the scene. Baile funk is always a special event.
The buzz in the whole favela on Baile Funk Day is something else. Everyone's getting ready for our Baile de Santo Amaro. It's crazy.
We had to negotiate long and hard to be able to film. We can only film on one side. Young men with assault rifles stand around us and further back. Drugs are sold openly on tables. But tourists come here too. The gang members who rule the favela promise to keep them safe. They want to show that baile funk is part of their identity. DJ Leo, who spins here every week, also believes that funk is part of the favela.
Funk is a form of expression. It's more than just a rhythm. It's a way for people to communicate, to protest, to say what they feel, but also have fun. Funk is part of the community.
Funk lyrics are similar to American gangster rap and often deal with crime, drugs, and sex. But they also address social injustice and life in the favelas. Ana Lima is on a mission to show that the favelas are much more than the cliché of violence and misery. We meet her in Vidigal, 5 kilometers southwest of the city center. She shows tourists her take on life here. And that, she says, is mainly characterized by solidarity.
I like it here. This is my home. I love showing people how we really live. I find it interesting how the tourists' opinions change. They arrive here very curious, and we break down their preconceptions.
Ana gives us a tour of her favela. A footpath at the top leads to what she says is the most beautiful viewpoint over the city. We take a motorcycle taxi up. Daniel Angel heads the cooperative and is used to dispelling visitors' concerns.
If you're afraid or worried, let me tell you, the locals here are practically born on motorcycles. We even drive pregnant women, with twins, up the hill because maybe Papa is waiting for his family at the top. It's a huge responsibility.
Joao, our driver, is already waiting. Ana, our guide, explains the basics. I'm still a little nervous and ask if I get a helmet. No, they answer in unison. You don't need one. The lanes get narrower and grayer the higher we get. Ana's glowing words about life in the favela echo in my ears. She has learned to be happy about what works and not to question anything else. Ana's optimism is typical of many in Rio. Optimism is a survival tactic. The path to the top leads through a small patch of Atlantic rainforest, a route many tourists take. Ana sometimes walks it several times a day with her customers. The route offers us one-of-a-kind views of the city and of Latin America's most populous favela, Rocinha. An estimated 100,000 people live here. Ana says the favelas are the city's engine room.
Almost 1.5 million people live in the favelas of Rio de Janeiro. That's almost a quarter of the population. The city only works because of the favelas. The people who live here work down there in the city. They keep the city running.
Ricardo is still out on the lagoon with his snare. He finally catches something sizable. But the fight isn't over yet. Ricardo has to be careful. A caiman is a single flexible muscle with sharp teeth. And this one isn't happy.
What a fighter.
It takes a few minutes for Ricardo to get the caiman under control. And then out comes the tape. Ricardo has won and can begin measuring.
– 19 kilos. This animal could tear my hand off and kill me in no time. But there is a connection between us that is so strong that accidents don't happen. At these moments, it feels like there is nothing else around me. Just me and the caiman.
Ricardo has already catalogued about 1,000 caimans. They are Rio's largest predators and keep the populations of other animals under control. But they are under increasing threat from water pollution and urban encroachment.
No one protects what they don't know. Lack of knowledge makes humanity suffer and prevents it from evolving. I think many people don't understand that we're not autonomous. On the contrary, we are extremely dependent on the environment. Harmony between the environment and humans is crucial.
Ricardo has followed the call of the caiman for 20 years and hopes it will be one day heard beyond the lagoon. Gigi's lengthy journey to wealthy Rio is nearing its end. Jardim Botânico is one of the city's most expensive neighborhoods. Silent, empty streets are not a sign of danger here, but of prosperity. Gigi is here almost every day and will never be more than hired help.
You're honest and work hard, but you still can't even afford the necessities. Some people seem to be born with a silver spoon, and we try so hard and still don't make it.
What gives you the strength to go on?
My kids, always. If it wasn't for them, I'd have given up long ago. They keep me going. You've hit my weak spot. Sometimes when I wake up and don't want to go on, I look over and see my children. For their sake, I'll never give up. I can't. I'll keep going for their sake, forever.
The promise that hard work will eventually pay off does not ring true in Brazil. Gigi and millions of others hope it will be true for the next generation. Alexandre almost overslept this morning. His small house is located at the top of the winding Babylonia favela, not far from the beach. The sun will rise on a beautiful day in about an hour. That's why he wants to be one of the first down there. But the night was much too short.
Very fast, very fast. It felt like the day replayed all night. I'm always at the beach, always at the beach. but I draw energy and vitamins from this wonderful sun. That's what gives me strength.
Alexandre, the philosophy student, walks into the day. Mateus is already on the beach. He has the waves of Ipanema all to himself before the students arrive. He's already come a long way in his first 25 years, despite his poor background. And he's already dreaming of his legacy. He wants to set up a surf school for children.
I hope I can pass on my experience to other children, that surfing can change your life. Surfing gave me the freedom to dream. That doesn't mean security or a guarantee that everything in life will work out, but it was enough to make me happy and gave me the courage to pursue my dreams. Every child deserves that, and I dream of giving them that chance.
The prospect of something good can make a huge difference in Rio. For Ana, just climbing the Dois Irmãos, the two brothers, as the mountain with its twin peaks is called, is proof enough. The sun rises at 5 o'clock, and Ana knows exactly where she belongs.
I was away for 20 days once, and when I came back and saw the sea, I started crying. No, I can't imagine being away for a long time. I like it here.
A city so beautiful you want to cry, says Ana, the eternal optimist. Even Mateus has forgotten his worries for the moment. And when the sun rises, it suddenly becomes much easier to forgive Rio for its harshness and injustices, for the reality behind the postcard.